Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
everybody.
I'm OPM, and you are
Jason OPM.
Jason OPM, and we are the OPMs. We're giving mommy a little time off, just to relax. And we had to, of course, take the opportunity to also bring some information to you. Now, one of the things I realized growing up is the lack of wisdom shared by parents. So curiosity got the best of me. Made so many mistakes in my life as a youngin, especially in the area of romance, girls, what have you, alcoholism, the whole thing. I know, started very wrong. But then the lack of wisdom really cost me a lot of consequences in my life. And thanks be to God who always causes us to triumph. God has really given us a lot of wisdom. So one thing I realize is a very vacant hole in a lot of people's lives is wisdom to direct. So here I am with my son, unrehearsed, to begin to speak about topics, very controversial topics. Topics about anything that a teenager goes through, topics they need wisdom on. And I'm calling forth on fathers to rise up. We have a lot of instructors. Everybody can instruct. Do this, don't do that. But can we live a life enough or worth emulating by our children? So I'm here of the OPM family. This is what I live. So my son is here to test it. Most importantly, to prove it and to also ask questions that may be beneficial to the hearer. Let those that hear. And if you have any questions or people out there who need wisdom, specifically for teenagers, well, that's why this is a new segment called what?
Pep Talk.
The Pep Talk.
The Pep Talk.
I hope you enjoy it. Hi, Jay.
Hello.
I'm so pleased with you.
Thank you.
Man,
Thank you so much.
let me ask. Okay, I know you have a couple of questions for me, right? What do you like about me and your mother?
That you guys are really together. Like, you guys are really like one.
What do you mean?
Like, you guys think the same. You guys,
Really?
yeah.
Is this rehearsed?
No.
Okay. Like how? Like, give me an example.
Like, you guys agree on everything.
You don't have to.
Exactly.
What does that do for you as a growing person watching us all the time? What does that do for
Kind of makes me want to get married too.
you?
Because you guys make it seem easy. Kind of.
It is in a way, but it isn't in a way. So that's why we're here to have the pep talk. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, thank you for that. Unrehearsed. That's Jay, that's me. What are some of the questions you have? If all gloves off, no cages, nothing to hold you back. If you really wanted to know something, you probably would ask a friend because you might be scared of how a parent might behave. But hey, first of all, let's talk about our relationship. How is our relationship?
Very open. Like, I can talk to you about anything.
I know for certain that I have to open the lines of conversation for me and my son to have that narrative and dialogue open all the time. Pretty much being the reason that it really it because you don't know when your child will need you. And it's not about just being an instructor to a child that changes a child. It's actually your actions and deeds, how you live an exemplary life, a life worth imitating or reflection. So ask me any question.
I have one question.
What's up?
Uh, you know how a man and a woman get married, right?
Okay.
Like, what are the roles of a man in marriage, and what are the roles of a female in
Roles. That's where you want to begin?
marriage?
Jay. Okay. We can start with that. Okay, so for the roles to be identified in a marriage, one first needs to have a sense of identity, of, of self, before you can understand roles. Because you see, the roles of a marriage sometimes get so concentrated to how we have been taught by the world. Like, example, if I tell you that the role of a man is to provide, do you know how limited you are if I just say that to you? Because you only will assume that as long as you provide, you're done. So there's nothing else except to provide. So if I say one of the roles of marriages, specifically in the area of being a male, is to provide, what happens after you finish providing? What do you do next? There's my question. It limits you to actually exploring and ministering true love to your partner because the roles just tells you a set of traditions to follow. And then because you don't follow those traditions, or if you do follow those traditions, you're done. Allow me to tell you how limitless the roles are. You first have to have a foundation, like me and your mom. Is there anything your mom will do I wouldn't do? Why is that? In your own mind, what do you think that? That's my point. See, the parameters of love, first, the foundations of love teaches me beyond the limitations of man. Because the idea a man provides is only what we have been programmed with. So, example, see this conversation we're having? Most men would think that because they have provided, they only instruct you, hey, don't talk to girls. That's it. Would that stop you from talking to girls?
No.
So do you understand the instruction is not enough? So there is a place to actually be closer to you, speak to you. Now that's where you're going beyond the roles and actually ministering. So what I'm trying to tell you is the roles are defined by the foundations a man is first culpable and connected to. The foundations first comes from my understanding, which is Christ and the bride. It's a little bit too much, but let me explain it this way. The consistency of knowing that being a man does not actively just give you one specific thing, except it gives you everything you need by grace to minister to your lover. It's what you should learn from the foundation of love, which is Christ. He says that he is the head of the church. He is the head of the bride. The head of the bride is a place synonymous to the connection between the body and the head. I'll give an example. What is the role of your head to your body?
To like think for my body,
To think for your body.
do stuff, yeah.
Like what?
Like move, eat.
But when you move, does your head stay behind?
No,
Where does it go?
stays with me.
It stays with you. So do you understand that the fact of you thinking for the body is one aspect, but there's a consistency of being by the body goes beyond the limitations. So first I think, move your right leg. That is one. Move your left leg. That's another. But then there's me being part of the journey. Coming with you because we are one. See, so in that you hush the terms and conditions of the roles because you are more concerned in the unity, in oneness. So the roles are blurred. That's why I can change diapers. That's why I can do dishes. But if I only consistently bear the fact of tradition, which only tells me that a man is a provider, then as long as there's provision, I can do whatever I want. That's not ministering. That is bare minimum. That's mediocrity. Do you get it?
Yeah.
The love Christ has for the bride is enough for him to consistently teach you revelations to improve your relationship. He is there consecutively, consistently. And if you can understand that, then the role of a man is to know the foundations of love, the endlessness of love, how transcendent it goes beyond the principles and traditions of life and enters the perception of God, which is eternity. Because ask yourself a question, how do you love somebody for 80 years? How do you love somebody for... Man, it gets weird at a certain point. They wrinkled all over the place and they can't move. And how do you keep loving something that is just breaking in front of you? Now that, you're going to need something more than just the tradition. If the tradition only tells me that I got to be a provider, well, you never said I should help you walk. I provided for you. And I'm tired too. But when you understand the foundation of the perception of God towards the whole purview of marriage, which is the oneness of the head and the body, it's whatever it takes. If mom is pregnant, guess who's pregnant? If mom is pregnant, guess who's pregnant?
You, I guess?
I'm pregnant. We are pregnant. That means if she wakes up at night, I wake up at night. If she's having cramps, I'm getting up to see what I can do to, but it's not really, well, if she's having cramps, take her to the hospital. Like, what do you want? Like, I'm not a doctor. No, that's not it. You don't stop because you are limited by tradition. No, it is my body. I need my body to be as effective because the head is as strong as the body that is as strong, right? Isn't that what athleticism is all about?
Yeah.
If my body is weak and my head is strong, what is the benefit?
There is no benefit.
There's no benefit. So whatever it takes, I don't limit myself. And that is what the love of God does for a person. It is relentless. It doesn't limit itself. That's why it doesn't bother you to do things that seem belittling by tradition. Like, oh, I said, man, don't let other men see you washing dishes. Says who? Man, I'm doing it for my body. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my wife. Like, what are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? You're supposed to do that for your wife. See how the roles are immediately blurred because of the understanding of the true vision of love, which is the way Christ loves the bride. The sacrifice is not all. The sacrifice is the first step. You get it?
Yeah.
That is how to get it won. And then there is this, the release of the spirit. That there is a place of character building. He is invested. Why? Because the fruit's you. You're gonna look up to me. The only way you're gonna be able to marry your wife is because of what you saw in me and your mother. And the only way I'm able to be married to your mother is what I saw between Christ and the bride. Do you see the foundation is consistent across the board?
Yeah.
So you don't really hold on to the roles as things that you think you do because of what makes it easy. That the man is the this, the woman is the that, the woman is the this, the man is the that. The idea is I am the strength where my wife is weak. God empowers me by grace to be the strength where she's weak, irrespective of whatever it is. Because we are one. My leg doesn't complain that it walks. But when it can't walk, I'm going to compensate with my other leg, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to compensate with my hands. I'm going to compensate with something in my body. The brain is going to have to think about how to compensate for what is not working. I have to be the strength of what is weakness. That's why God is our strength in our weakest points. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Good question.
This guy's different. This guy's different. Where do you get all that from?
From God.